The 24th of November, 1971. A man calling himself Dan Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He looked ordinary, ordered a bourbon, then quietly handed a flight attendant a note. "I have a bomb." He demanded $200,000 and 4 parachutes. The FBI paid. The passengers were released. Then, somewhere over the forests of the Pacific Northwest, Cooper jumped out of the back of the plane into a violent storm. He was never seen again. More than 50 years later, no body, no confirmed identity, and no arrest. Now, AI forensic profiling offers the clearest picture yet of who he may have been. The hijacker became famous as D.B. Cooper after a newspaper reporting error, even though he called himself Dan Cooper. Witnesses described him as calm, polite, and completely in control. He wore a dark business suit, smoked Raleigh cigarettes, and never appeared nervous. After receiving the ransom and parachutes in Seattle, he released every passenger, keeping only the flight crew. He instructed the pilots to fly south at low altitude and slow speed. At 8:13 that night, the crew felt a sudden pressure change. When the plane landed in Reno, Cooper was gone. Only a small bundle of the ransom money was ever recovered, buried along the Columbia River in 1980. Everything else vanished. When the FBI closed its investigation in 2016, it left behind decades of evidence, including witness statements, physical evidence, and DNA recovered from Cooper's tie. AI analysis combines all of it. The biggest clue isn't the DNA. It's what Cooper knew. He understood that the Boeing 727 could lower its rear staircase in flight, knew the safest speed and altitude for jumping, and understood parachute equipment. AI concludes this knowledge strongly suggests military airborne training combined with aviation experience. His language during the hijacking also stood out. He remained calm, gave precise instructions, and never improvised. Everything points to someone who spent weeks, or even months, planning every detail. The partial DNA profile has never matched any known suspect. Hundreds of suspects have been investigated. One of the strongest is Robert Rackstraw, a former Army paratrooper with aviation knowledge and a long criminal history. The FBI investigated him but never found enough evidence to identify him as Cooper. Another possibility is L.D. Cooper, whose niece claimed he confessed shortly after the hijacking. DNA testing failed to confirm the claim. AI also analyzed weather records and terrain. It points to the Washougal River area in Washington as the most likely landing zone, matching where part of the ransom money was later discovered. But survival is another question. Jumping at night, during a storm, into dense forest gave Cooper very slim odds. More than 50 years later, D.B. Cooper remains America's greatest unsolved aviation mystery. AI doesn't reveal his name, but it paints a far clearer profile than investigators had in 1971. A disciplined planner, likely military trained, comfortable around aircraft, and willing to risk everything for one impossible escape. Did he survive? Or did the Pacific Northwest keep his secret forever? Tell us what you think in the comments. And subscribe to Cold Case AI, where we use modern AI to re-examine history's greatest unsolved mysteries.